welcome to Tufts University's 149th Baccalaureate Service. The service is about to begin, and we invite you to please rise in body or in spirit as we welcome the 1,223 graduating seniors and the baccalaureate procession. Friends, I present the class of 2014. And before we welcome the platform party, there are a number of empty rows behind the students. For those of you who are standing, if you'd like to move in right now, you can do that. Thank you. Please remain standing and turn to welcome the platform party, members of the administration and of the faculty, deans, and the senior baccalaureate leaders, and Wendell Phillips speaker, the university chaplains, and our president, Anthony P. Monaco.
Please be seated. Dear friends, welcome to the Baccalaureate Service of the class of 2014. I'm the University Chaplain, Greg McGonigal, and on behalf of all the chaplains, the Interfaith Student Council, the senior baccalaureate leaders, and all the members of the platform party, it is my pleasure to welcome you to today's celebration. The tradition of baccalaureate is an ancient one, reaching back at least to medieval times when, at Europe's first universities, the candidates for the degree of bachelor were presented with laurels of oration to inspire and bless them as they crossed the threshold into the lives and vocations awaiting them in the world beyond. There was a recognition in their time, as in ours, that the education we practice here is something more than the simple transmission of information. It is connected to our beliefs about what is ultimately true and good, and it is about shaping lives and shaping a world. In this sense, education and learning are, for many of us, a cherished, sacred practice. And so, for 149 years, the Tufts community and the senior class have met on the eve of the commencement exercises to honor the connections between what we do here, what we celebrate, and the ultimate. We recognize the profound religious, spiritual, and philosophical diversity that composes our Tufts family. And so we gather for a diverse celebration, drawing upon many of the great wisdom traditions that come down to us from the past. From our many backgrounds, we share together a moment of thanksgiving, inspiration, and reflection for our graduates and for all of us involved in the learning and the service that are the hallmarks of this place. Seniors, this is one of your last times to be together before your commencement tomorrow, and then your new lives beyond. In this ceremony, which is just for you, we will hear the thoughts of a distinguished speaker from among your ranks. We will hear reflections on this occasion by our university leader, President Monaco. And we will have time to share music, prayer, meditation, scripture, poetry, to offer you insight, support, and cheer as you set out on your journey from Tufts. And so, welcome all to this time, set apart from the busy rhythms of the academic year, of the end of the year, and of this exciting weekend. Come into this time to hear some sacred music, to be in prayer or to witness the prayers of others, to be moved by ancient texts and fresh words of inspiration for our time, as we all celebrate the mysteries, the joys, and the meanings of this moment. And now as we begin, it is a common practice in many religions and cultures to greet one another with words of peace. And so as we enter into this celebration, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, to turn to those around you and offer a smile, a handshake, a hug, a high five, some way of expressing greetings and peace to those around you. Peace be with you all.
And now I'd like to ask everyone to remain standing. Sorry to those of you who are already sitting. And join me in singing the first hymn, which is inside of your booklet, entitled Morning Has Broken. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet, sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the new garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw praise. Praise with elation, praise every morning, praise with elation of the new day.
Please be seated. I want to tell you a story about Abraham Joshua Heschel, one of the most important rabbis, activists, and philosophers of the 20th century. 10 days before he died in 1972, Rabbi Heschel taped a television show for NBC. And at the end of the program, with a minute left in the broadcast, the interviewer asked Heschel if he had a special message for young people. The meaning of life in 1 minute. Heschel thought for a moment and he replied this: above all, remember that the meaning of life is to live your life as if it were a work of art. I've been trying to figure out exactly what Heschel means by this. Live your life as if it were a work of art. And often, when I want to come to a deeper understanding, I just start asking people on campus, students, faculty, staff, for their interpretations of something. So I started wandering around campus and asking people, what does that mean to you, to live your life as if it were a work of art? God, I love my job. So a senior thought for a moment and said, each work of art, real art, is unique, expressing a singular vision of the artist. So, she continued, I think it means that we should make sure that we live the unique life that each one of us is meant to live. A friend of mine on the faculty told me, when you paint a painting, you're always painting over mistakes you made, correcting them, fixing things that don't feel or look quite right. Great art, like a real life, is built on a series of do-overs. A junior started talking about the act of painting and how when you paint, you have to zoom in and focus your attention on small details. But then you need to step back and get some distance in order to get the larger perspective on the work that you're creating. He said, it's about the balance of focusing on the thing right in front of you, but never forgetting that you have to step back and get the big picture. You complete your time at Tufts, and your journey continues. This time has been rich in experience, study, and growth. Now, going forward, what would it mean for you to live your life as if it were a work of art?
The Wendell Phillips Memorial Scholarship was established in 1896 by the Wendell Phillips Memorial Fund Association in honor of Boston's great orator and advocate for abolition, Native American rights, and women's rights, Wendell Phillips. Each year, the Arts, Sciences, and Engineering Faculty Committee on Student Life presents the scholarship an opportunity to address the graduating class to a senior who has demonstrated both ability as an orator and a commitment to social justice. It is my very great pleasure and deep honor to introduce to you this year's Wendell Phillips speaker. She is a young lady well known to her peers and well beloved by them. She personifies grace and wisdom. Her beauty is the beauty of her strength and character, and her activism and commitment to social justice, a natural extension of who she is. It has been a deep delight to witness her grow into her own uniqueness these past 4 years. From the first time that I met her during Friday prayers in orientation week to this very moment. I believe she's an inspiration to us all, certainly to me. Please join me in welcoming Jessica Wilson.
I'm already crying. Woo! Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I just want to take a quick moment and thank two very special people who are here today. I wouldn't be half the woman I am today without my mother and father and their unconditional love, support, and dedication. So I thank you for giving me life, and I thank you for being my parents and the honor of being your daughter. While we are on the same topic, I would like to extend an even greater thank you to all you beautiful people sitting in the back, to all the mothers, fathers, guardians, grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, best friends, and loved ones, to all the faculty and staff of Tufts University, to all the dining hall staff, maintenance staff, Joey drivers, and everyone who supported our time here. Without all your support, patience, and devotion, we wouldn't be sitting here today and graduating tomorrow. So on behalf of the class, we thank you for everything. To the Tufts class of 2014, we made it. In less than 24 hours, we'll be receiving our diplomas, packing our bags, and moving forward with our post-college life. We'll be joining this thing called the real world that is no longer within our Tufts bubble. But before we talk about what's to come next, let's bring it back to the beginning. Let's bring it way back to matriculation day and where it all started. Now, I don't know about you, but I remember matriculation day like it just happened. It was like 98 degrees out, just as hot as it feels in these robes right now. Half of us were sitting in the scorching heat, while the other half was in the back cooling under some trees. We sat randomly with people we barely knew, making awkward small talk about nothing important. Former President Baccalaureate made the quintessential speech about all the impressive features of the incoming class, making 99.9% of us feel like we hadn't accomplished anything besides getting into Tufts. But what I distinctly remember about matriculation day was the moment all the families got in their cars and left. We said our final goodbyes, and just like that, they were gone. I recall standing there right in front of Ballou Hall, right by the jumbo statue my parents left me. I turned around, I thought, well, okay, now what? We didn't really know anyone, and it's not like we had much to do. Our options were to either walk around aimlessly with a group of people we just met, or go back to our dorms that felt safe and secure. And then, of course, you had family calling later, asking questions like, so, how's Tufts, or how's college, as if it were the first day of the third grade. But it's funny, because I remember standing there in front of Ballou Hall, frozen and stagnant. I was scared, because for the first time, something in life was really out of my sphere of control. And I realized that real risks had to be made in order to succeed and take advantage of my time here at Tufts. We were kind of just thrown into this phase of our life, and I don't mean to be overly dramatic. We're incredibly privileged to be here and have this opportunity. But for the first time, most of us were really on our own and had the liberty to start making our own life decisions, whether good or bad. We were in a new environment, making new friends and figuring out and developing our sense of self and character. For some, including myself, this transition was really difficult. That balance between putting yourself out there, but also focusing on your main priorities for being here. Some of us got through these 4 years with ease, but for the majority, this Tufts environment was, and still is, incredibly challenging and demanding. From difficult course loads, busy academic, athletic, and extracurricular schedules, taking care of our physical, mental, and emotional health, having some doors shut in our face, but always seeking another one for support. Having people tell you or treat you like you're not enough, worthy, or a good fit. Coming from certain backgrounds and communities, and therefore having to adjust and navigate your way through these 4 years. Dealing with difficult people and confronting complex issues, but facing those challenges with adversity and accepting them fully without a doubt or lack of courage. As privileged as we are to be here, it hasn't been an easy road. And for most of you in the back, you know that because you are most likely in the other end of that phone call. I can't tell you how many times my poor father had to hear me out through tears and sobs and guide me back on course. But we never walked this difficult road alone because all of you made it possible to be here together. So to the previous question, how's college, which I hope we can answer now, it's been a different experience and fostered a distinctive sense of value for each person, so I really can't speak on everyone's time here. But as I said, we made it here today. All the late hours eating in the commons, all the all-nighters watching the sun rise and eat in computer lab, to all the places we traveled and people we met across the country and the world, to all the lasting relationships we have built and memories we made, to all the tears, laughs, inside jokes, struggle bus moments, and anticipation leading up to this weekend. We made it. So here we are, yeah, woo. So here we are today, ready to take on the next phase of our life. We're preparing ourselves for graduate school, careers, travel, time off with family, or time off with ourselves to reflect. There's this continuous ebb and flow in life that I find so serendipitous. The idea that everything happens for a reason, all the people we meet and experiences we have and places we go prepare us for what's next. If anything, the exposure we've had over the past 4 years, both good and bad, and the risks we have taken have gotten us to where we are today. The communities we have built around us have loved, supported, and nourished us with the strength to thrive and grow. But I challenge all of you, including myself, to never lose that desire to expose yourselves to new challenges and new experiences, to always take risks and not be calculated in your decisions. Because sometimes a decision is really not up to you. If there's something I have learned my time here at Tufts, is to always find the unexpected in the expected, to trailblaze your own path and not dictate that path ahead of time, to understand that life will not always be comfortable and smooth. Because then how would you learn about yourself, your true self, if things don't go horribly wrong sometimes? Remember to love yourselves and never compare your success with others, but rather use yourself as a measure of your own success. I remember that freshman Jessica standing alone and stuck, not knowing what was to come next. I remember that freshman class of 2014 figuring things out for themselves, making mistakes, taking risks, challenging themselves and challenging those around them. We made this experience our own over the past few years, shaping and molding it to fit our goals, our needs, and our desires. And now we are about to set out into the next phase of our life and start taking new risks, exposing ourselves to new places and new people, building communities for ourselves to support and love us wherever we are. It has all come full circle, and here we are today, together again in the same kind of space, celebrating this joyous occasion. So the next time you're scared, feeling a bit stuck, starting graduate school, your first day in the job, back home or across the world, remember the success you've all had here, the challenges you have overcome, the love you share with one another, and use that to motivate you and encourage you to progress and thrive for success of yourself and for those around you. I show gratitude for allowing me to speak for all of you today, and I wish you and your families the best of luck. Thank you.
The Baccalaureate Service is a time for reflecting on the wisdom we have received, discovered, and engaged with over our times as undergraduates at Tufts. There are many sources of this wisdom: our own experiences of mystery and wonder, the words and deeds of prophetic people and communities that have challenged us to pursue justice, compassion, and love, teachings from the world's religions and philosophies that inspire us in our spiritual and ethical life, the appreciation of beauty and the arts in all of its many forms, and the guidance of reason, logic, and science that counsels us to analyze, critique, and seek to understand our amazing world. We will now hear lessons of inspiration from several of the religious and philosophical traditions that are held here among the members of our class. Some will be read or recited in the original languages used by these communities in their practice, and the translations are presented in your program. We encourage you to consider the words that they may hold for you and the sources of wisdom and inspiration that you draw upon to shape your character, your vocation, and the life you hope to lead as we all go forth from Tufts.
Good afternoon. I will be reciting the inspiration from Hinduism from the Taittiriya Upanishad Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavati ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. From the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi.
Good afternoon. I'll be reading the Inspiration from Judaism, Dvarim chapter 30, verses 11 to 14 and 19. Ki ha-mitzvah hazot, asher anochi mitzavcha hayom, no niflet hi mimcha, velo rechoka hi. Lo v'shamayim hi, lemor, mi ya'aleh lanu hashamayma, v'kacheha lanu, v'shma'inu ota v'na'asena. Velo me'aver layam hi, lemor, mi ya'aver lanu, et ever hayam, v'kacheha lanu, v'ashmi'enu ota v'na'asena. Ki karov elecha hadavar me'od, b'ficha u'v'levacha la'asoto. Ha'idoti v'achem hayom, et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz, ha'chayim ve'hamavet, natati lefanecha, ha'bracha ve'haklala, u'vacharta b'chayim, leman tichya ata v'zarecha.
Thank you, Jordan. Now we're reading from Matthew's account of Jesus' life. English is not the original language, but I can't speak Greek. So Jesus said, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is life not more than food, and is the body not more than clothing? But strive first for the kingdom of God and God's righteousness, and all of these things will be given to you as well."
Sorry. Thank you, Ed. I'm going to be doing the inspiration from Islam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alam nashra laka sadrak, wa wadana anka wislikrak, alladhi anqada dharak, wa rafa'an laka thikrak, fa inna ma'al yusri yusra, inna ma'al yusri yusra, fa idha faraktam fansab, wa ila rabbika farab.
Thank you, Cassie, very much. And from Emily Dickinson, if I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto its nest again, I shall not live in vain.
We invite you to rise in body or in spirit for the litany of thanksgiving and to join in the response, which is, we offer our thanks and praise.
For the values that a university at its best imparts, love of learning and of truth, an understanding of the unity of human knowledge and of mankind, a sense of community, self-respect and respect for others, a commitment to rationality and sanity, and an appreciation of beauty.
We offer our thanks and praise. For the conversations that helped us to understand ourselves, that made us realize that we are not alone, that entertained and stimulated and upset us, conversations that broadened our vision, and understanding in classrooms and dorm rooms that forced us to mature and think and grow.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the images and memories of this place that will flash in our minds for the rest of our lives, walking up the memorial steps, looking out from the library roof, staying up for yet another all-nighter.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the intellectual skills that a university hones and sharpens, the ability to think logically, to make sound judgments based on evidence, to solve problems by careful analysis and discussion leading to action, to develop abstract ideas and relate them to concrete reality, to communicate thoughts and feelings effectively through language and symbols, and to appreciate historical and cultural context. We offer our thanks and praise.
For parties and gatherings, planned and spontaneous, that brought us together, for long talks in which our hearts opened up and understanding was born, for relationships with one another, ones that lasted long, and even the ones so important at the time, which are vivid no more, yet still remembered.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the willingness to doubt, which the university encourages and supports, to challenge the accepted wisdom in all fields, to examine and test whatever is encountered, to root out and question underlying assumptions, to move from conformity to creativity, to take intellectual risks. We offer our thanks and praise.
For trips on planes, on buses and bikes, or on foot or on the T, that took us away from here and then brought us back, for the new places that intrigued our curiosity, and for the familiar, usual places that made us comfortable, for new people, for the places we met and shared, for this place on this hill.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the laughter that makes our seriousness less difficult, and which gives friendship new levels of joy, and makes memories of friends so full of life, and for the jokes, good and bad, told once or repeated endlessly, which make life more whimsical and often uncover great wisdom. We offer our thanks and praise.
For the times when children were generous by including families in their growth and adventures. For the times when families showed their wisdom by knowing that the way to hold on to children is by letting them go. For the experiences that brought the hearts of children and families closer together in understanding and friendship.
We offer our thanks and praise. Amen. You may be seated.
In the summer of 2011, when you graduates were just wee rising sophomores, President Monaco began his tenure at Tufts University. Since that time, you have come to know him as a leader, thinker, mentor, fellow jumbo, and also as a dad who goes sledding with his kids in the backyard. President Monaco is a distinguished geneticist who came to Tufts after having served as the Pro-Vice Chancellor for Planning and Resources at the University of Oxford. He holds faculty appointments as a professor of biology in the School of Arts and Sciences and as a professor of neuroscience at the Tufts University School of Medicine. President Monaco leads with deliberateness and compassion, always listening first. He brought to Tufts an eye for multidisciplinary research and has demonstrated that he is passionate about doing the hard work at the intersections while fueling a vision that far exceeds the expected boundaries. He grapples with difficult issues head-on, adamant about hearing more voices, gaining more perspective. He pursues a nuanced understanding of this campus and is committed to collaborative decision-making. His colleagues remark on his astute eye for complexity and innovation, and students express gratitude at his willingness to sit down with them, share personal experience, and offer insight on matters pertaining to academic and professional trajectories. Most notably, President Monaco meets students where they are, in Distler for senior recitals, Balk for productions, Cohen for performances and speakouts, Cousins and Kraft for sport, at your social dinners, department gatherings, and of course, where it is students are always, online. His nearly presence everywhere speaks to a sincere desire to understand our students and listen to their stories, your stories. President Monaco makes himself available, and that is a story I hear again and again from students, alumni, faculty, and staff alike. And all that listening is what will shape the years to come here at Tufts, because your stories are at the root of the university-wide initiative, Tufts the Next 10 Years. With this project, President Monaco and team seek to realize a university that is strong because of its diverse and inclusive community, sustainable practices, and creative partnerships. Friends, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you your baccalaureate speaker, the 13th president of Tufts University, Dr. Anthony Monaco.
Family, friends, colleagues, and distinguished guests, welcome to this year's Baccalaureate Service. We've just heard a wonderful Wendell Phillips address from Jessica Wilson. I have gotten to know Jessica through her remarkable range of activities on campus. She is an outstanding representative of your class, so thank you, Jessica. The members of the class of 2014 are today's most special guests. Seniors, welcome. Graduation from Tufts is a milestone for all those close to our students. A college career can bring with it unforeseen challenges as well as hoped-for triumphs. Those who love and care for our graduates have provided them with support and encouragement all along the way, rejoicing in good times and offering a steadying hand when things got rough. As we begin, I would like to ask the graduates to stand and recognize the support, care, love, and sacrifice of the parents, grandparents, siblings, partners, children, and friends who have made this day possible. Please give them a hearty round of applause. Thank you. All of you have shared a portion of this journey and supported our graduates. We are grateful to you for sharing these young people with Tufts and helping them thrive while they were here. I would also like to recognize the devotion and excellence of Tufts faculty, deans, and staff. In countless ways, visible and invisible, academic and personal, they have supported and guided our students. It's a privilege to share the stage with their representatives. Members of the class of 2014, as I think about your time at Tufts and your future, 3 words come to mind: opportunity, discovery, and fulfillment. I hope that all 3 of these have been characterized with your time at Tufts, and I hope that opportunity, discovery, and fulfillment remain the touchstones of your lives in the years to come, both what you aspire to and what you experience. In his matriculation address to your class, President Baccel focused on the tremendous opportunities ahead of you as students at Tufts. It has been my good fortune to get to know many of you over the last 3 years. and it is clear to me that as a class, you listened carefully at matriculation. You have followed Larry's advice and taken advantage of all the opportunities this university has offered you. You have taken up the challenge of rigorous coursework. In your major or majors, you have explored a significant field of study in depth, honing your skills as critical analysts, as problem solvers, and as creative synthesizers. You seized the opportunity offered by our exceptional faculty for further exploration through significant research experiences. Many of you worked alongside your teachers as summer scholars or wrote senior theses of true distinction. As for your participation in athletics, the arts, and other co-curricular activities, words fail me. The challenge for me personally almost every weekend is to choose where to spend my afternoons and evenings. It would have been near impossible except for Facebook event reminders. The time you have spent on Bellow Field and Ellis Oval, in Cohen, Balch Arena, and Disler, in Goddard Chapel, the Interfaith Center, and at Hillel, has allowed you to explore your own passions, creativity, and spirit while building profound connections with your fellow students. And you have carried your commitment to active citizenship off campus as well, into our neighboring communities and around the world. It has been a pleasure for me to participate in your activities such as Tisch College, Leonard Carmichael Society, Jumpstart, the Sherwood Project, Lift Somerville, Fan the Fire, and many other Tufts programs and student organizations. Perhaps most important of all were the opportunities you yourselves created for learning, for expression, for action. When you saw a societal need you might fill, you have never let yourself be limited by pre-existing programs. You have been innovative and entrepreneurial from the start. The best opportunities are not just chances to do a bit better, something you already do, or to meet more people like yourself. The best opportunities are those that take you outside your comfort zone, on a journey to discovery. And in your time here, all of you have made significant discoveries about yourselves, about other people, and about the world. Some of the discoveries you made were academic. Sometimes this was a question of discovering where your true interests really lay. You may have changed majors. You may even have transferred between liberal arts and engineering. At the same time, many of you made important discoveries in labs, libraries, galleries, and archives. You added new knowledge to the store by which we understand the world and address its problems. The career that brought me to Tufts as your president was the result of my own voyage of intellectual discovery in college. I hope that your scholarly discoveries while at Tufts will be the source of lifelong pleasure and a foundation for your futures. You also embarked on a 4-year voyage of personal discovery. That has meant both broadening and deepening your relationships with others. You learned from and became friends with people from backgrounds strikingly different from your own. And you got to know very well a close group of friends. Some of those friendships date back to orientation. Others have started on a team, in a fraternity, or the group of 6, in a performance group, or while studying abroad. Wherever they began, I hope that you have nurtured these friendships as they will prove enduring. And you discovered the world through study abroad, IGL, and groups such as Engineers Without Borders and BUILD. These are some of the many ways in which you seized opportunities to broaden your horizons. But equally, those opportunities for discovery have been at our doorsteps, working with community partners just a few blocks away from campus. Of course, not all that you have discovered about the world in the last 4 years has been easy to accept or understand. Last year's marathon bombings and their aftermath remain for all of us, at some fundamental level, incomprehensible. This year's successful marathon was an inspiring opportunity for our community to celebrate resilience with all of Boston and those who were watching from around the world. If Tufts has been a place of opportunity and discovery for you, I hope that it has also been a place of fulfillment. It certainly has been for jumbos before you. At alumni events, when I ask our graduates if Tufts changed their lives, all the hands in the room go up. And their individual stories are testimony to the transformative effect that Tufts had on them. The comments from members of your class at this year's senior dinners suggested to me that the tradition of fulfillment and positive transformation continues into the present. But even a great institution can be made stronger. During your time here, some of you have been active on campus on important issues because you take your responsibility for our community seriously. I am personally grateful to the students who have helped get us closer to our shared goals of advancing diversity and inclusion, addressing campus sustainability, and preventing alcohol abuse and sexual misconduct on campus. We will continue to work with students to ensure that Tufts is a fulfilling experience for all those who come here. My door is always open to students, whether you email me or Facebook message me for an appointment, or decide that it is time to march into Ballou Hall and demand attention. The question of fulfillment looms especially large as you prepare to leave this hill. Many of you are wondering what path after Tufts will be the most fulfilling. Perhaps it is best answered by remembering that your own journey at Tufts was made through opportunity and discovery. These will be just important at the next stage of your lives as you experience the world of the work and professions, which are changing rapidly. The patterns of career development and professional growth you experience will be very different from those that my generation expected. Trust in your values, your education, and don't be afraid yet again to experience things outside your comfort zone. A fulfilling career may not be the one that seems to carry the highest prestige or financial rewards. It may be the one that allows you to address a societal challenge or balance your professional life and satisfaction with other rewards, like raising a family and remaining an active citizen. You will also find that your definition of fulfillment shifts as you move through life. That is right and natural. Your voyage of discovery will and should continue long after you leave Tufts. Now, the experiences of opportunity, discovery, and fulfillment may be deeply personal, but they are all nurtured in a caring and supportive community. Here at Tufts, each of you has been part of a university-wide community, as well as of smaller communities within the whole. As you move on from Tufts, you will have to find and build community in new ways. In this lifelong endeavor, I urge you to remember what the Tufts community over these 4 years has taught you. You leave campus with the skills to build professional and service communities of deep personal significance and genuine impact. Having founded your own NGOs and business ventures as students, you are equipped to foster productive collaborations in the world of work and as citizens. As President Baccalaureate said to you at matriculation, the only way the world will get better is if good people commit themselves to repairing it. You will find it tremendously satisfying to use what you have learned at Tufts to make a difference. You also leave campus having made deep friendships. Cherish them. The bonds of common experience and values will provide a solid foundation for those relationships as long as you work to maintain them. Your friends from Tufts will attend your wedding, participate in the growth of your family, and provide a source of strength in life's inevitable moments of adversity. This has been the experience of Jumbos for generations, and I am confident that it will be yours as well. You will also remain part of Tufts' global community. Our worldwide network of graduates now numbers greater than 100,000. These individuals who share your Tufts pride are eager to welcome you into their worlds. Many of you have already benefited from internships funded or organized by alumni and from their sage counsel as you pondered life after college. That support will continue to be available to you informally and through the resources of the Alumni Association, so please take advantage of it. One of the most enjoyable alumni meetups I've been to recently was an informal gathering of alumni who were all studying at the same business school. They had not all known each other during their time at Tufts, but their shared experience here formed the basis of a network of friendship and support that will endure when they move into careers and family life. Members of the class of 2014, I hope that the years ahead continue to be filled with opportunity for all of you, especially the opportunity to make an impact and use what you learned at Tufts to benefit others. I hope that the voyage of discovery that started here for you never ends. There is always more to learn about the complex world around us, and an essential part of growth is continuing to discover new interests, passions, and commitments. I hope that by taking advantage of opportunity and being open to discovery, you will find fulfillment, remembering that in the end, it will be determined most of all by the strength of your personal connections. I hope that along the way, you will be both sustained by community and help build and renew it, just as you have here at Tufts. At tomorrow's commencement, the entire university and its guests will recognize all you have accomplished. While many people have helped along the way, you deserve our respect and admiration for all that you have done. Congratulations, members of the Tufts University class of 2014. Thank you.
Join me once again in singing a song from your booklet entitled Guide My Feet.
Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. For I
Following the benediction, please remain standing for the recessional of the platform party, followed by the recessional of the senior class. Go forth into the world, girded with the knowledge you gained in your years of study. Go forth in the conviction that your life is important and that you have the power to make a difference in the world. Go forth with a heart of compassion to make peace where there is no peace, to shine light where there is no light, and to spread understanding where there is disagreement. Go forth with the blessings of this university community, teachers, mentors, staff, administration, classmates, and friends. And as you go, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace, so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Spirit. Amen.